Evening, guys. 3-2 home defeat to Bearsted in the League Cup. Coyley, pick the bones out of that one.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it? It really is. I think at 2-0 up, they've got 10 men. We were cruising. But I did see in the first half, although we played really well in the first half and maintained really good possession and controlled the game, we did look really open on a counter-attack. Defensively, our shape weren't great when we were in possession going forward, and we spoke about it at half-time. And they've capitalised on that in the second half with one player less, which is it's not good enough. It really isn't good enough. And we can dress it up and say we've made 7 changes tonight from Saturday's team, but the players that we've picked today are good enough to go and win that game tonight. And I think out of the 11 that started the game, I think 3's come out with some credit. The rest of them I don't think have, which is frustrating for me, and it most certainly will be for them, because we've signed a new player this week that's going to add a real goal threat to us and our squad. And tonight kind of summarises our year really, in terms of we're creating so many opportunities, and it's taking too many of them opportunities for us to score goals. And at the other end tonight, we've been really, really poor in not locking the game up and not killing the game off in the other end. So it's a frustrating night. There's been a lot of learning for us. Players have had an opportunity tonight that haven't really played or coming back from injury to state their claim, and I don't think enough have actually done that. So it makes it a little bit easier for Saturday, because, as I say, it's 7 new opportunities tonight, and as I said, I'm disappointed with some of the individual performances.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Coyley mentioned there about we were cruising, and I thought that first half particularly we played some good stuff. Finn Cotton, I thought, did well coming back into the team. But football's crazy how you can go 2-0 up against 10 men, and suddenly the game changes in just literally a minute. Was it 2 goals they scored in a minute or so, or 2 minutes?
I think so, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I just said to the players, I think it's not the first time we've been 2-0 up in a game. I think it's been the first time that we've been 2-0 up in that manner, in terms of that we've dominated possession and been in large periods of control. We played the game slightly differently to what potentially we would normally do as a rule. And I think that we weren't bright enough or experienced enough on the pitch tonight to, at 2-0, decide that actually, do you know what, the gaps are appearing a little bit, let's just get up the pitch and let's just revert back a little bit to what we know, and sort of just not make the game so basketball-like at 2-0 and win the game. And I think that's something that, as a team, not just the players that are playing tonight, just as a whole, if we come up in that scenario again where we're 2-0 up and we've had a sort of dominant in terms of possession-based game, that we switch it up and we potentially help the boys a little bit more from the side in terms of dictating what we do. We're a little bit dictated to in terms of Finn pulled out before the game that would have played. We wanted to give Will a rest. Connor's come back in, and Bradley Wally's pulled out today due to an eye infection. So then Connors, instead of playing in midfield, had to go centre half and had to play 90, which wasn't what he was planning to do. Ricardo's come back from a month out and had to play 90, and Will, that was meant to get a rest. So we've ended up with our 3 centre halves tonight, all playing 90, of which we didn't want 2 to play more than probably 60, and Will at all. But I said to them 3 in there that they're experienced enough to know that if they're starting to tire at 2-0, just be solid and just go back to the basics. And like Jamie said, that the game should be finished. Like, it should be absolutely well and truly finished when you're that dominant. And the last couple of games, we've scored 5 goals at Snodland. We've scored 5 goals against Holmesdale Hill, and could have been more. And again, as the manager said, them games should be 7s and 8s and 9s. And maybe that's expecting a little bit too much, I don't know. But on a game like tonight, you could be 4-0 up and the game's completely dead. And at 2-0, if that's 3 and 4-0 and they got 10 men, they stop running. We're not doing that to teams. And I think also, if you look at tonight, if you're looking outside of what's here tonight and people that are actually at the game and watching it, you're probably giving other people a little bit of hope when they play us. And if you're beating teams 5 and 6s, genuinely the game could be won and lost before you even start. And I think that's where we want to get to as a management team. And I think that's what the players have got to understand. That's where we need to be as a football club. And unfortunately, there's still people here that are naive terms of age maybe and experience maybe, but we can't allow that. So that's where we obviously are continuing to look to improve in certain areas and get back on the training ground Thursday, iron some bits out. But I also did think there was some really good stuff tonight, and I think Finn Cotton was outstanding. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was a good midfield performance, but I thought as a team we left ourselves way too open. Jamie said it at half time, but the changes that we had two forwards, a holding midfield player who came on wasn't brilliant, but we had two forwards on the bench and a holding midfielder, and that's it. So we couldn't really change anything defensively from the side and lock things up, which is disappointing. But like I say, I think overall there was still some positives to take from the game.
Yeah, which is good, and looking at even at 2-2, when they scored those two goals in 2 minutes, whatever, we still had chances to go and win the game, and we still kept missing those chances. So it must be really frustrating for you.
It's frustrated me the whole year. It really has. I said before our game at Snodden last Tuesday, we were the third worst goals for in the league, and we were still in the playoff position. So we've known for the whole season that we've got some very good players in the final third, and we've also now got 4 players that have got double figures, which is brilliant at this early in the season. But our goal to chance ratio since the start of this year has not been good enough. It really hasn't. And I said to the boys at training, I said, we can't be the third worst team in this league at this stage with the players that we've got, the chances we're creating. Hence why we've had to bring a forward in that's got 19 goals already this year. So we need that competition for places, and we need to be killers in front of the goal, because we're creating and getting in so many good opportunities, good positions. First half, Jaden's got down the byline 5 or 6 times, got the wrong side of their fullbacks, getting decent balls in the box, and the movement static, and that's where we've got to improve, and hence why Jack's come in, and I'm sure he'll be a huge asset for us moving forward. But at the other end, we can talk about chances. At the other end, at both boxes today, we haven't been good enough, and that's not down to the forwards putting the chances away. We could then still win that game 2-0, and should be able to win the game 2-0. So it's a frustrating night, but the players have had an opportunity. There's a lot of players have had an opportunity tonight. We've now got 21 players in our squad to pick from on Saturday, and unfortunately there'll be a few of them that won't even make the team, and not even be able to be on the bench. So all you can do is provide opportunities, and players have got to take it. So it's not all doom and gloom. We've had a great start to the season, but we are driving this team forward, and we expect our expectation levels are far superior than what we've delivered so far, and they're going to have to be that high for us to get out of this league this year.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matt, that leads us onto a visit to Rotherhithe on Saturday against a tough opposition. Thursday's going to be important to get the guys down and have a good session with them, and look forward to how we bounce back from tonight's defeat.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's never a question. The players' attitudes are spot on. Even the boys tonight. There's no application issue. There's no attitude problems, anything like that. All the boys come on. They all try hard, but ultimately we've got to tidy up and brush up in certain areas. And look, tonight it's so difficult to say, but even if late on tonight, if we have Finn O'Mara available and we have Jake McIntyre available, as Connor and Will, or Connor and Ricardo Tyre, we bring them on with 25 minutes to go, and I think we managed that period of the game. So I think as difficult as tonight is, in terms of, it's always horrible because you've lost the game later on and it's sucker punch and it's an emotional moment, and we all sort of feel like it's a little bit worse than it probably is. But I think I've got no issue with the players coming in on Thursday. We'll have the full group training that we didn't have here tonight, for various different reasons, and I've got no qualms of going to Fisher and getting a positive result. We're in a great run of form. We're top of the form guide in the league. We've won all of our games in October, barring tonight, and obviously the FA Cup's at 2 cup games. But in the league, we're in good form. We've scored a lot of goals, and we've got a healthy squad to pick from, with Jack coming in, Joe Healy, Jake McIntyre, Finn O'Mara, Jack Nelson, there's so many names that haven't played tonight. So I think it's a good positive in terms of we've learnt loads, and I think now Thursday night you're going to see this will be firing on Thursday, because they're all going to want to play on Saturday. They're all going to want to be in the squad, and we'll have 20 odd players here chomping at the bit to get in that squad. And when we travel there, it's a brand new pitch over at Fisher this year, so it'll be a much nicer surface. They're a decent team. We have great games against them. Fully expect it to be the same. Will it be two decent sets as fans? But we're going there we're going there confident. We're going there bullish, and I fully expect us to go there and get a result.
Well, let's look forward to that, guys. Roll on Saturday. Unlucky tonight, and all the best.
Cheers.
Thanks. Cheers.